out in the Holey Cow Shred, a tour. Here we go. So to start off, we have the owl up there. This is a shed in the back of the garden of my family home. I converted it a few years ago um, as a desire for a space to practice, mostly lift weights at that stage. Um, this is just going to be a little tour. Cadell Last has asked for some images from the shred. Say what it means, what it represents, and yeah, this will just be a kind of introduction. There's this peculiar way in which the um, life kind of unfolds by this externalization of what is internal or private. So this is like the shred at the back of my family home that has been a place for practice, experimentation, discipline, um, place to come and practice. Has developed over the years as a perhaps a hodgepodge of um, images to be found. That there is an image of Babaji. About three of us use this shred at the moment to come and practice, but mostly at the moment one of us. It's been a little bit colonized, but it's been functional for almost about 4 or 5 years now. You can see all of the I'll get into some of the objects maybe in a bit. Um, as an example, there's a zazen for my Zen hands. Show me your original face, the face you wore before you were born. Provocations and plays on the wall, the writings on the wall. It's an attempt at creating some kind of playground, sacred space, maybe. This had a really detailed penis, but my mother painted it over because younger siblings who might wander in here. This is a note that my younger brother wrote. I was playing on the phone and I died in the game, so I gave Lutando to play on the phone. I was bored. I fooled around with Leaflet and I bite him on the bum as a joke. I'm sorry, Georgie. He had to write that because he was in trouble. There's a man about to be hung. There's a Bob Marley, a Desiderata. You've seen the owl. That's Paramahanswa Yogananda and Vishwananda. Here is Waheguru from the Kundalini Yoga tradition. Om Namo Amitabhaya Buddhaya. There's a Buddha. So that's the Buddha of light. One of the experimentations done in this room was I recorded myself speaking the instructions for passing through the bardos that were compiled by Timothy Leary and Richard Alpert, I think. Then Ram Dass, inspired by the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And I took a whack of acid and listened to those instructions, and essentially was made contact with the Buddha of clear and infinite light. It was something. Neti neti, not that, not that, not this, not that, not that. It is something we do, my friend. It is indeed something we do. Jap, words, meditate, meditate, meditate. Choiceless awareness, Krishnamurti, Shiva, Hanuman, an old Madala, monster energy, mother and child, crucifixion, the cross is empty, there's some kind of world, mandala, mirror thing happening there. naked lady and an elephant. And I mean, it's been one of these. There's Igor Kofiev, Jesus with some children, um, philosophers, an artwork made by my uncle, which is meant to, or it's Holy Spirit. That's the inspiration. That's what it is representing. That's what the work was for him. Holy Spirit. It's an old tile of a roof. This was drawn by one of my younger brothers. We went through a kind of process with him. Um, he's adopted and just kind of reconnecting with his birth mother who passed away. This is one of the images of goddess Chinamasta who cuts off her head to feed um, her children or those other. And she's dancing on a couple copulating who are dead. Lovely. It's been one of these places where this practice of feeling out relation to objects has developed. So, for instance, I came back with the sense that I needed to remove these two objects, the owl wing. I found roadkill and I was getting really into this ancestral path, and sometimes it's something that you do, that you collect body parts of dead animals and they form part of your, it might be called an indimba, but I'm forgetting. It's this kind of practice of having an outhouse where your ancestors stay, and you go and pray and pakla and the like there. So this was a similar kind of impetus. There's a Shiva hiding, and the latest has been this: the cross is empty, and just making sure that the cross is on top. It's in this proliferation and this chaotic assortment of images. Yeah, bordering on this almost pathological. I mean, was I just taking drugs in the shed at the back of my parents' house, or was I doing deep and meaningful exploration of consciousness and making contact with the Buddha of infinite light? Who's to say? Uh, there's just the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths. What I was saying about there's a beautiful knot in a rock. Yeah, I mean, what I'm doing now is crazy. It's like externalizing an internal sacred, attempting space to be shared onto this almost realization of that dynamic, the internet, this place in which like we can be turned inside out. So I mean, I found these. This was roadkill, and I collected the wing. It was quite an experience to feel the body of a dead owl, how delicate it was, and then cut the wing off was also quite an experience. But I think it's time for these to be removed. Yeah, there we go. That's the Holey Cow Shred. In terms of its literal, it's a concrete manifestation. It's perhaps nice to get that framing that's at the door. That is out in the Cow Shred. And I play a lot with images and painting and the like, and so there's often playful reflections in the images that I produce and that have or develop some kind of retroactive or retrospective reflective potential. So, I mean, there's the development from the snake lifted up on the staff on a cross, and the development to the cross that is uh, empty. All right, there's a thorough view inside the outside shed, the Holy Cow Shred.